everybody, happy day and welcome to the Fumble Live. It was a big weekend this weekend for the NBA, particularly yay, go Lakers. Jackie, I know we have a lot of reason to celebrate, and we're going to talk all of the upcoming Lakers series. We do that. Make sure you subscribe, tap the bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and share it with your friends. Here's the Fumble Squad. I'm Devin Howard. You can find me on Instagram as @DevinHoward. Chris?
It's your boy Chris. You can find me everywhere at CK2K.
Happy Monday, guys. It's your girl Jackie. You can find me everywhere at JRay the Fanatic.
No, Britt, you're muted.
Wait, it's up. What's up? What's up?
Britt, I think you're silent.
Everyone, follow me on all social media at I am Britt Johnson.
Let's talk about the Lakers versus facing on. Saturday night's Lakers versus Nuggets game was so good. LeBron was up. He scored 16, game-high 38 points in the fourth quarter. He showed other skills throughout 16 rebounds, 10 assists to record his 27th career playoff triple-double, which is second only to Magic Johnson's 30. And he had many other highlights throughout the game. I mean, it was just a really, really great game. Jimmy Butler discussed what he thinks the biggest challenge will be. He said LeBron is going to be the biggest team is going to have to face. He said, quote, "You're going to get the same test over and over again. If you want to win, you're going to have to go through a LeBron James led team." He also said, "Test is LeBron James." So he's getting that kind of challenge. Jimmy is now heading to his first NBA Finals appearance after being called a locker room cancer. People who weren't ever in the locker room. So we all remember that. But all around, this is a big moment. I'm super excited for the upcoming games. So Britt, you first, what does Miami need to do to secure a win?
Okay, so first of all, I just want to congratulate the Miami Heat because going into this season, they had a 75-1% ratio of ever even making it to this point. So, like, kudos to them. That is amazing. We know they were a 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. I really think that they just need to continue to do what they're doing, which is staying fearless and making sure nobody, like, outworks them. I went back to the games they had prior to or earlier in the season when they played each other because they haven't met in the bubble at all, but they last played each other in December, like mid-December too, not even like late December. And the Lakers won that game 113-110. What they were able to do in that game was literally lock down Rondo. Rondo had 0 points in that game, even though he played 25 minutes. So LeBron had dang near a triple-double. He was like 1 rebound away from having a triple-double. AD had a great game that time. So I think it's really just not trying to worry about AD and LeBron and let them do what they do and kind of lock down everybody else in that situation. So I'm I'm excited for Miami Heat, obviously, as like basketball is concerned. Everybody should just go with the idea that, like, okay, of course, the Lakers should very well win this series. They are supposed to win. Even going into, you guys know I like my betting stuff. They are 3-1 underdog to actually beat the Lakers in this situation. So I just think all those little guys have to really step up. If we have Tyler Hero have a big game like before, if Duncan Robinson can come up like he did in the last game and have a big game, I think they have a chance to at least extend this season or this series. But I just like looking at this Miami Heat team, they are literally just like players that people threw away. Like Jimmy Butler was literally like a most improved in 2015. He went to Marquette. He was like literally the last pick of the first round when he got drafted. Duncan went undrafted. Bam was supposed to be most improved this year. Jay Crowder like literally was like drafted at the end of the second round. He was actually teammates with Jimmy Butler when they were both at Marquette. And then Andre Iguodala, we know like everybody's kind of like thrown him around the last couple seasons. But as of yesterday, he became the 10th player in NBA history to make his 6th straight NBA Finals appearance. So he's been in the mix every single time in the NBA Finals. So I think that's where they're going to have to lean to mostly on to get just his experience and stuff, because all these other guys really haven't been in this position that Andre Iguodala has and that LeBron James has and stuff like that. So I think leaning towards him and that, and then just really be dogs this whole series is what they're going to have to do, and continue to be fearless, which I think they've done this thus far in all of these series that they've had, which has gotten them to this point to beat the Bucks and beat the Celtics to get into this position. So it is going to be a hard fight for them.
And Jackie,
but,
so I have to hear from you. What do you need to do to take home the victory?
I was a little thrown out there, but I mean, I think it's just no way. Yeah, we can tell. We can tell.
That's what happened.
No, you're good. You're good.
Extreme delay. Sorry, Bert.
Oh no, you're good. I was finished.
Yeah, no, I think first and foremost, I just want to say that this is such a nostalgia moment for me for LeBron to actually go and face the Heat. I think this is kind of like a full circle thing, so I'm excited about that. I am excited that Jimmy Butler is getting his redemption, and the fact that everyone said this about him, and he has not changed. He's not a different person, and he's successful being exactly who he is, and the media had it wrong. So I'm very proud of the Heat in that regard, but that's it. That's all I'm going to say about that. That's all I'm going to say, because, now it's all about, I have to congratulate them just like I did the Nuggets after we win this series. But I think what the Lakers need to do, they need to just kind of manipulate every ounce of their basketball IQ. I think it's exactly what Britt said. If they shut down Rondo, then okay, what adjustments are we going to be making for that? You have to pick up the pick and rolls if they happen. You have to get those second chance offensive rebounds. I have been saying that, and we've seen that when the Lakers get in a bind, it's because people are shooting and falling back. There's no one in the paint to get those second chance rebounds, so that's going to be a must-have. I already talked about turnovers. When we really get in a pinch, it's because we are in like 20 or plus turnovers. That can't happen. We have to stay the course because they do have a Tyler Hero. They have Bam. They have Jimmy Buckets. They have all these people that are hungry, and I think just as much as I said that the Nuggets are hungry, I think that the Heat is just as, if not even more hungry, because they are in this position. So you have to starve them to death and make sure they don't have anything to capitalize on in this game. But I think it's going to be a great series. I do have Lakers in 6, though.
And Chris, what do you think both teams are about?
Oh, God.
Oh shoot! I didn't hear the question. I'm so sorry. I did not hear the question at all.
What do both teams need to be concerned about? And then after that, you guys, I want everybody to say who you winning the championship. So we'll start with Britt after that. So Chris, answer the question. Then Britt, Jackie, Chris, tell me who you think is winning.
Got it. I think I'm just going to take a bit of what both Jackie and Britt said. The Heat basically just have to be the Heat going into this, not worried about who they're playing against. I don't care if it's the Lakers. I don't care who it is. He need to go in there with that same confidence that they've been playing this entire playoffs with, and I think that's really all it will take for them to at least have a chance. I think it's going to be a close series. And for the Lakers just need to put their damn foot on the gas and not take it off. It's that simple. Lakers got all that power, all that strength, everything. They got, the best players from now and last decades on the same team. Lakers literally just need to put their foot on the gas, never take it off, and they should be able to win this series. So we'll see what happens. But so Britt, you start off with your prediction then. I guess that's where we're supposed to go.
Okay, obviously, like I said, anybody who knows anything about basketball should just say that the Lakers are going to win this series. But because most people are going to go with the Lakers, I'm just going to go with the underdog in this situation, and I'll just pick the Heat. I'll be rooting for the Heat this series. But either way, I do think it's going to be a great series. And I know Jackie
if you're taking the Heat,
said her.
Yeah, if you're taking the Heat, how many games though? Because that would have to go 7, right? If you're taking the Heat.
Yeah, for sure. If the Heat win, it's going to be a 7-game series.
Yeah.
Has to.
I'm going to go Lakers. I'm going to go. Technically, I think it could possibly be a gentleman's sweep, but I'm just going to go Lakers in 6.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know whoever I choose, the Fumble fan, they're gonna be like, Chris, you're curse the team, blah blah blah. Well, if you check my receipts, okay, I had both Western and Eastern Conference Finals picked with the right amount of games. I said Heat in 6, and I said Lakers in 5. Check them over on my channel if you don't believe me. I even said them here, but I'm gonna stick with Lakers. But I think it's going to be a long series. I think it's going to be either 6 or it's going to be 7. I think the Heat are not going to be no walk in the park. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And then I think also Lakers in 6. That's my guess. I'm so excited. I can't wait for the Lakers to win the championship. That's where I'm standing. I'm going with that. I'm sticking to my gun. Okay, let's get into the next update, you guys. Chris, it's all about the Knicks, so you're welcome.
Oh, God.
What is this about?
It's not even bad. So Dennis Smith Jr. is changing his jersey number to get his mojo back. This player is going with number 4 instead of 5, which is the number he wore back in college. It will be his 3rd different number in the league. So after being drafted 9th by Dallas 2017, he wore number 1 with the Mavericks. But then when he switched to the Knicks, after he was traded to the Knicks, he switched to 5. And then now we're going back forward to his roots. So, Chris, do you believe that this will work for Smith Jr.? What are your thoughts?
I have those who are subscribed and know me. There's few players on my team that I refuse to talk about, and this name is one of those players. Look, he can wear 1, 4, 7, 23. I don't know, all the greatest numbers in the game. I'm hoping that this year it turns around. I'm hoping for him. I'm going to stay positive because he is on my team. That being said, I don't give a damn what number he's wearing. He just needs to not play as bad as he did last year. He can wear 23. He can wear 100. I don't care. Dennis Smith Jr., you got all this damn talent. Don't play like you a 4th-string point guard. Sorry. Dennis Smith Jr., I have a problem with him. I'm sorry. That's it.
And then, Britt, do you feel like this is a pointless thing to do, or give someone like Dennis Smith Jr. a fresh perspective?
I think it depends on the player, honestly, because we saw when Kobe changed his jersey from 8 to 24, he was under, obviously, it was all the crazy stuff that was happening during that time, and it really kind of like revamped his career. But we all remember that one moment that Michael Jordan tried to change from 23 to 45, and that worked out in his favor. So it could be good or bad. I think it really is. It shouldn't even technically matter what jersey number you have. But obviously players like fans are superstitious. Right, there it is. 5 is my personal favorite number ever. So I'm sad that you're leaving the number 5 and think 4 is better than 5. But I guess if you think it worked for you in college and you want to go back to it, whatever the psyche is with it, do you? But we've seen it on both sides of the coin where it's worked out for players very well, and it also hasn't. So we shall see.
And then, Jackie, that kind of leads me into my question for you. I was going to ask, this worked in the past. We've seen a number of big-name athletes change their number, like Britt mentioned, Kobe and Michael Jordan, LeBron, D-Wade, KD, Shaq. So in what situation does this work, and do you think it's a good idea?
I have to totally cut you off because you named all these people that we cannot compare Dennis Smith to. That's why you bamboozled me. I got to give you guys this backstory. Devin told me she was going to ask me this, and I'm like, yeah, it's worked for all these people she just named. She didn't tell me the topic, though. It's not the same thing. It is not the same thing. Dennis Smith is whatever he wants to do. He might need to change teams entirely. I don't know if this even matters. He could be 0 if he wanted to. He could be 99. I don't think it matters. You bamboozled me, Devin. Well done. You got me, and it's funny. But I can't believe you just listed all them people and then said, what is this going to mean for Dennis Smith? Nothing. That's my short answer. Nothing. I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm going to just be responding. I feel like way late. The technical issues I'm having, so I can't even respond to that. Jackie, Chris, take it away.
Oh, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Post Up with your boy, Annoyed Chris. I cannot believe we just... who did that? Who put that in there? Who did that?
Kobe. He's going to be like Kobe now. He's going to be like Kobe now.
Change. Oh, my goodness. Dennis Smith Jr., just find a damn jump shot. Who goes from averaging 12 points per game to 5. Anyways, enough about that. We're gonna talk about post up today because we got some funny stuff here in post up, and we're starting off with, unfortunately, the Celtics, who was the team that went packing or went fishing, in the words of TNT, over yesterday. It was just yesterday's game. I forgot. Saturday was Lakers. Yesterday was Heat and Celtics. And but we had some cuteness that I need to show you because this happened on Friday. The Celtics had won the game, pushed it to a game 6. But right after the game, Deuce and Papa Jason went for a little walk, and this was the moment between daddy and son. Here's that video.
We're going that way. What's in your hand? Say buzz.
Buzz.
When we get in the house, we're going to sleep, okay?
Alright.
Okay?
All right.
You're going to sleep. You're going to let daddy sleep.
Deuce is so cool. He said we're going to go to sleep, all right? All right. Yeah, go ahead, Deuce. That's what's up. But and then following that, unfortunately, Deuce and Daddy are going to be going home because the Celtics weren't able to finish the job yesterday, as the Heat did what the Heat had to do to get to the NBA Finals. And yeah, we saw that. But before the game, Deuce was in the crowd, letting everybody know who he, giving the Celtics all the juju that they could. He had his own little sign that looked like he wrote. I hope that he wrote because, and if he did, good job, Deuce. He put a sign saying, "Let's show them what we got, y'all. We got this." I hope he flipped it around and said, "I," because Deuce is so cool. But you see this moment, and it's such an innocent moment, right? Well, if you guys don't follow him by now, Worldwide Wob, he on Twitter saw this picture and thought what I'm sure everyone thought. I immediately thought when I saw when I saw it on TV. He tweeted out saying, "Deuce Tatum and his cute little sign are about to get memed into oblivion, aren't they?" Well, Wob, yes, they did, and we got them right here for you on Post Up. So we're gonna show you guys a few of those, starting with this one right here. It's a sign saying "Daddy getting sent home in 6." Well done, because poor Daddy is, but hey, at least you get to spend more time with Dad. And I just love the little touch of the Heat jersey. Yeah, the Heat jersey on the bottom. But where's your allegiance lie, Deuce? You got a LeBron Heat jersey on. That doesn't work. But yeah, he dropped this sign over here, dropping the L for his daddy and the Celtics. So disrespectful. This next one, don't come home.
Damn.
These are so. And just the cuteness of his little face and the sign say, "Don't come home, Dad. Don't come home." And the next one, we have another one. I think we have 2 more. Yes, Tyler Hero is my new dad. I was hoping he was going to have a Tyler jersey on. Oh my God, it's disrespectful. And this one is in response to the tweet. No, Wob, it won't get memed. After I showed you a bunch of memes right there. But yeah, little Deuce Tatum. We're going to miss him. Yeah, Deuce had some of the greater moments in the bubble here on Post Up, so we're going to miss him. But I'm sure, as upset as Jason and the Celtics are, he's going to be excited to spend more time with his boy Deuce. But yeah, man, sorry, Deuce. You got memed early, my guy. I don't know what to tell you, but hey, welcome. Welcome to the meme culture. You did it, my guy. You did it. All right. Sorry, that's still my favorite moment from that video. But speaking of that same game, I want to flip over to the other side for the team that won. Jimmy Buckets, also known as Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler, we saw him wear a Tyler Hero's high school jersey after the game 4 when where Tyler Hero just went absolutely bonkers, 37 points. And at the next practice, Jimmy Butler went into practice with a Tyler Hero high school jersey. Well, now that the team won the entire series, he decided to one-up that that gesture by going out there with Eric Spoelstra's college jersey, and he wore that to the little celebration that the Heat was having after they won the series. Now, I'm telling you, I need to know who the plug is. Like, this is impeccable. To go and find a Portland jersey, and not only that, to find Eric Spoelstra, who I need to find his stats. Like, was Eric Spoelstra out there dropping buckets? I need to know. But whoever his plug is, shout out to them, because he got him the high school jersey and got him the Eric Spoelstra jersey. But I love this. Jimmy Butler's looking confident going into the finals. Britt Johnson, do you think that if the Heat win the NBA Finals, it's a long shot, if the Miami Heat win, do we see Jimmy Butler wearing a LeBron James Heat jersey to the parade?
Ooh. No.
Right? Nah, you want to go that far?
A D Wade jersey for sure, but not a LeBron.
Yeah, that probably makes sense.
Not a LeBron one. Because I don't think Jimmy is not one of those guys that congratulates the people on other teams while we're still playing. He has that old school game, that old school mentality. They're not going to congratulate anybody that's currently in the league right now. So I think it'll be a D Wade jersey.
Yeah, I think that probably makes a little bit more sense. I just want to see how petty he's going to really push it. And I think that would be the best like checkmate if they won the award. But you're probably right. It definitely were like some like decked out, personalized like Dwayne Wade jersey, or maybe even the Marquette Dwayne Wade jersey, because that connection there. So yeah, I definitely see that definitely being the case.
Yeah, right. Jay Crowder went to Marquette too. So
right, exactly. But for kicks and giggles, Jackie Ray, how upset and salty would you be if you did see Jimmy Butler up there with his first ring wearing a LeBron James Miami jersey? Would you go down the route saying he's in your head still, or would you feel some type of way? How would you feel? I'm so curious. This is just for me.
I don't think I would have the feeling that you think I'm gonna have. I would think it's a level of respect, because otherwise why would you wear his jersey? I don't know if you put it as a slap in the face. I've even said that it's a nostalgic moment for me to see it come back. It'd be more nostalgic if he was facing the Cavs, but we know that's never gonna happen again in life. But
chill out. Chill out.
So but I'm saying it's kind of, it has this nostalgic moment to see, because we all know that LeBron is the clock. Father Time is hanging on his shoulder, so we know that. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I would take it. I'd probably be the only one that didn't take it like that, because I have such, I think that across the league, there's a lot of respect as far as players go for LeBron. So I wouldn't take it like that. But maybe it's just because I'm just in my nostalgic moment, and because I have that specific jersey. So.
And you have that one jersey. Oh, okay.
I have that jersey, so.
Jimmy hasn't been like that, really. Like every time he's worn a jersey, it's been out of respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it was just a thought. I was just thinking, because there's so many storylines. Okay. Yeah. No. It's just because there's so many storylines with this game. I was just like, that would be funny if that happened, and everything. And then we got the Kuzma, Tyler Hero thing. We got so many storylines, and that was just one thing that came in my head. But I got you. Okay. No, I definitely agree with Brett, though. I think the Dwayne Wade jersey would be the move for sure if they won that, for sure. But from there, we got a bunch of great football moments that happened yesterday, and they're all very, very meme-worthy and very funny. And I want to start off with a game that was close to my heart, and that was the game with the Packers versus the Saints. Now, we saw the result where the Saints ended up losing their second game in a row in 2 weeks, and this one in the Dome without fans, but still it was in the Dome nonetheless. I'm sorry, I'm not one of those guys to be like, oh, there was no fans there. No, you lost a home game. I don't give a damn. So, yeah, that happened, but Aaron Rodgers, who did not have his boy Devontae Adams playing with him, and we already talked about how the team did not help him in the draft by getting him any receivers, so he's out here making stars of the receivers he has, and Allen Lazard is one of those guys, so he made sure that he knew that he was going to take care of him on and off the field, so he's there fixing his face while he's talking to coach, like, here, I got you, Allen, don't worry about it, man, keep catching the ball, you're doing great, good job, buddy, I like it, so I respect him for that, even though Allen and Aaron Rodgers went up there and they killed us yesterday. Anyways, moving off of that game, I want to go over to the Patriots and Raiders game where Cam Newton probably had the moment of the day. And I want to hear what all of you guys thought the conversation was going on between N'Keal Harry and Cam Newton. But this was captured on the sideline where N'Keal Harry said something wild that got Cam Newton to act like this. It's like, yo, chill out. So I need to know. I need you guys to pull out your best memes or whatever. What do you think N'Keal Harry said to Cam Newton? Please, Jackie, start us off. What do you think N'Keal said to Cam Newton that made him react like that?
I think he said, it's okay that she put raisins in potato salad. And then that was the reaction.
I like that one. Brent, what you got?
I'm going to say, so he asked him, hey, Cam, you ever going to marry anybody? And he did that.
Yeah. I was thinking along those lines. I thought it was perfect.
Kids and still ain't married.
Still ain't married. No, that's facts. That's facts. Yeah, I thought it was something more towards the hair because you can see that he took that real personal. So I thought to him, but Cam, I'm telling you, if you do this and you do that, you can grow dreads the right way. Okay, you cut them first, and you grow it this way. He's like, my dreads are just fine. Thank you very much, Harry. You don't know nothing about dreads.
Or maybe he said, if the aliens invade, you can't put foil on your head because your dreads is jacked up. They're gonna be able to read your whole entire mind. My guy.
You don't know what's in that hair. Whatever's in that hair might have aluminum in it, so you ain't gotta worry about that. You don't know that. You don't know that. I want to ask Devin, but I don't know if she's delayed still or not, so I don't want to put her in that position. Devin, Devin, you hear me? Yes. Okay, Devin. So you saw that. What is? Give me a meme. Give me a quick meme off the top of your head. What do you think that N'Keal Harry said to Cam Newton?
Wait, I wasn't paying close enough attention, Chris. I have to admit, I've been stressed out about my issues here. I rebooted my router, so I can't even think of anything right now. I am stressed.
Devin, I'm going to give you a pass because I've gone through months of fuzzy, Chris, so I understand what it is. But I'm going to give you, this is my reaction to what Devin just said. Devin just told me I'm stressed about I'm like, girl, after what I've been dealing with, chill out, girl. So yeah, girl, that's my reaction to it.
That was perfect. That was perfect.
I get it. I understand. But we're going to move on to my boy, Alvin Kamara. Now, look, I normally don't do this because if my team loses, I'm pissed off at everybody. But in this situation, because I also have you on fantasy, and no one's going to talk about it. But the fact that you went out there and had damn near 200 yards, total yards on the field and played out of your damn mind, I'm going to give you a round of applause, even though we did lose that game. But shout out to my boy AK41, and he had himself a meme too because, Alvin Kamara don't play these games without being iced up, and he made sure he showed the cameras this time with his crazy, crazy girl. Look at him. Look at that thing shine. Look at that thing shine. He is ready for that extension for sure. Look at him cheesing. It's crazy. That is too much. And he played with it. It's not like he take it off. Nah, he went out there and played with it. Did his damn thing. So shout out to Alvin Kamara. I can't say the same for the rest of you guys on the Saints. 1-2. We're 1-2. Anyways, maybe so mad. And last but not least, we are talking about masks. Okay, y'all ain't listening to Britt Johnson here on the Fumble. Okay, y'all pay attention. The mask situation is not getting any better. And John Gruden went out there, and I don't even know if I could say what he had on his face was even a mask because the way that this thing, I don't know how it look at that looked like a damn do-rag or looked like some girl's panties. What is that?
I thought it was panties.
That is not. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is look. It is not. That is not right. He deserves half a fine.
Okay,
so at least it's covering his nose.
Maybe he cut it on the side. Maybe he cut it.
For why? Say what, Britt? Look at this.
It looks like a song. That is so funny. I actually have a funny story of somebody that did wear his underwear on his face.
Ew. I do know of somebody who wore a bra on their face, like they wore the cup and then just used the straps around
as a mask.
Because
it was man one. Yeah.
Oh no! This is actually a friend of mine. We went to the store and she didn't have a mask, so she popped her bra off and put it on because otherwise they weren't going to let her in the store. So
there's a
you guys know Destroying on YouTube. He has like 2 million subscribers on his YouTube. I know you guys in the comments know who he is. But, he's one of my friends or whatever, and he literally he had to go to some event and like he didn't have a mask, and it was like masks were mandatory. So he like had just got off the plane or something like that. So he had a suitcase and he just had some underwear in there. So he wore.
Okay. All right. That's it.
I
thought this was going to go a different way.
Terrible. I thought it was going to be the underwear he wore. I was going to be like, and he was on a plane for 12 hours? That's nasty.
Okay.
Woo! But it was like the boxer brief, so he just put like one of the legs over his head.
Put it up.
Kind of looked like a little.
You can get away with it though, because her bra was like one of those nice bras, and so like unless you really looked at it, you couldn't really tell.
Until you saw the other one hanging wherever it was at. And then John Gruden.
I don't know what that is, but
since someone just gave Gruden an atomic wedgie, because I'm done. The internet is crazy. But yeah, John Gruden, you take the cake over the damn weekend. I expect to see this man get a $50,000 fine, not $100,000, because he at least covered his nose. All right, so come on, NFL, give him some credit for that. All right, he at least covered his nose. But man, that mask, I don't know what was going on with that. But yeah, so sticking with football, we got it. We talked about my current running back in Alvin Kamara, but we got to poke some fun at my old running back and one of my favorite players of all time, Reggie Bush, because he was caught slipping on the post game over for it was Saturday because he was doing post game for college football, and they caught him falling asleep live on camera, and they decided to make a whole edit and show it to him after the game, and it was actually pretty damn funny. Here's that video. It's so stupid, yo. Like he's out. What? Some of my eyes. Some of my eyes. I was what are you talking about? Yeah. It was halftime. I thought it was post game, but yeah, him and Matt Liner. Matt Liner's crying, laughing, watching. Oh my gosh, yeah, that was great. Then the edit, I thought it was paused at first, but then the camera you saw it move slightly. I'm like, this dude was really asleep until he pretended like someone was in his eye. Reggie, come on, man, you on TV now? You guys be up. He blamed the call time. He said that y'all had me here at 4:30. And look, that no excuse. You should be used to that. Even though I would probably do the same thing because I can't do that. But we need to find. So I need to find a moment when y'all sleeping. I'm gonna edit it like that. I'm gonna find one. I don't know when. I don't know how. But we gonna find one on live. Well, somebody's talking. I'm gonna tell Leo. I'll be like, yo, okay, I'm doing my post up. Go to Britt's face real quick. I want to see if she's falling asleep, and then we're gonna find you. I'm gonna catch one of you guys. I'm gonna catch.
There is a picture of that in existence. There's a picture of that in existence. I'm not asleep. It looks like I am, but there is a picture of it and it exists. I was blinking. But the picture is caught at just the opportune time that it looks like I'm just over here like knocked out. But I'm not. I was awake.
I'm gonna find one.
I ain't sleeping. I'm resting my eyes.
Resting my eyes. Exactly. They get tired.
Oh man! Well, speaking of Saturday, because Saturday was when college football was going on. That show had happened. We also had something else happen on Saturday, and that was a fight between. Oh my gosh! Okay, Israel Adesanya. Am I saying his name right? Adesanya.
They just call him Izzy. You can call him Izzy.
I will call him Izzy because look, that shows you how much I watch fighting. I don't watch fighting like that, but I'm gonna call him Izzy because I like that name. I like his actual like his Twitter handle. Doesn't matter. But yeah, Izzy was out there, and a lot of people on my timeline were rooting for Costa, and then I found out that the result wasn't the way that they had wanted because Izzy had gone out and won that fight. But the thing was, it wasn't even about the fight. You can't find. I mean, you probably can if you really look, but you can't find many highlights of the fight itself. Because if you search this dude's name, you're going to see what was happening after the fight. So much so that he decided to brag about having a separate belt other than the one that he won right after the fight. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to let him say it because I don't want to get fired. So go ahead, say, Izzy, what were you talking about?
Robert Whitaker, Yoel Romero, and now Paulo Costa in his wake. He wants to fight all of the most imposing.
All right, Izzy, yeah, okay, good for you, my guy. I mean, that flex on, look, my guy, go ahead, man. That is definitely a way to talk that talk after winning that fight. But then he wasn't done there because after that fight, he went right out and he made sure that he had one of the dudes on his team hold his damn belt so he could get a dance opportunity. And the best part is that he tells him, he's like, hold this so I can dance. I love it. This is great. So here's that video.
He's the best athlete in the game.
Look at him go. Look at him. This guy's wild. This guy's wild. This guy's wild. So like I said, I'm new. I don't know who. I had no idea who he was. A lot of people were telling me, they're like, yo, this dude's crazy. He's wild, but he's a good fighter and he's hilarious. I'm like, I don't know who that dude is. But after seeing these videos, I got to know. But so, Brett, I want to come back to you real quick, seeing that fight and seeing the results after the fact. So is he that guy? And is he a guy that I can ask to go beat up that Kobe guy we were talking about last week?
Listen, this guy is wild. He's crazy. You didn't show the most important thing that happened during that fight immediately after that TKO. But I did a video on the Fumble, which will air later on in the day, and you guys will check out what he did. He actually humped him. So immediately after winning, he literally took him and humped him, which is probably, I don't know if we couldn't show it on this thing, but I did a story on it later that you guys can check out. And honestly, Costa deserved every little bit of it because he was yapping and yapping for months and months.
So I heard.
He's been really disrespectful to Izzy. So you lost, not even just lost, TKO lost, okay? It wasn't like a decision. It wasn't nothing like that. It was a TKO. You lost, my guy, and you deserve every bit of it. So Izzy keeps celebrating. Izzy's been really big, too, with Black Lives Matter. He's done a ton of protests and spoken out a lot about that. So yeah.
So is there a chance that he could fight this Kobe dude that we were talking about last week? Like, is that something that could actually happen?
You're gonna
that would be great if he's the one that whooped his head.
Oh boy, Jackie.
Okay, Jackie Ray. Okay.
Yeah,
Jackie Ray, tell me, is it?
It's always a possibility. And I know he wants to fight him, so it's all about the card.
He does?
I don't know.
Oh,
yeah, he wants to fight. So I don't even know. You didn't even get like what I thought. Aside from what Britt said, which obviously was the best part, you didn't get his intro. You didn't see how he walked out, because that's how I choose my fighters. If I'm not real familiar with them, it's how they walk out.
Oh, he did the dance. I did see that.
He did a whole,
was that him?
A whole choreographed routine, and they all did the whole. Like, it was so dope. So he's got a level of confidence, but it's exactly like Britt said. I don't know him well enough to know if this is him all the time, but considering that they did a whole choreographed thing, it probably will be. But Dana is all about who is most popular at the moment. So it's entirely possible that he can get this fight done, because right now UFC is getting astronomical numbers as far as viewership, and it's because of guys like this who talk that talk. So it's entirely possible. I haven't checked on anything UFC today, but I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted.
All right. Yeah, I'll watch that one, because after learning about that Kobe dude, I would love to see this dude whoop him and then hump him too. That'd be great. That'd be fantastic. I think that'd be exactly what he would deserve, for sure. But last but not least, I have probably one of the most adorable but also sad moment at the same time. But we have to show it, because when I saw this, I watched it a few times, and it was just so precious. Sad, but it was so precious all at the same time. Vanessa Bryant shared a moment of her and late Kobe Bryant's youngest daughter, Capri, walking around with a picture of Daddy Kobe, and she was walking around. She was just so happy going on her little walk with them, saying "Dada, Dada." It's the cutest thing ever. I'm so sorry I have to post up with this, but you guys need to see this video if you haven't already. So here's that video.
How good was that? Dada. Yeah. Dada. That is your Dada. Dada loves you.
Oh, man. I got nothing else to say about that, but that's what we won't go out with. I'm sorry, but that was such a precious moment. I wanted to share it. I know, man. This is so sad, but that's I got nothing else to say to that. I'm so sad.
It's not even that it's a beautiful moment.
Chris,
I'm not too mad at
it.
That is heartbreaking. I see that.
Yeah.
All right, so
Jackie, tell us what we're not going to do.
Okay. I didn't know if I should dive in. I didn't know what was happening, but this is what we got. So in case you missed it, I'm Jackie Ray, aka the Bronze Sexual on the Fumble Squad, and I'm very proud of that. So I'm also a Saints fan, but here's a big difference. I wanted to point that out, because when you ride for an athlete, you ride or die wherever they go. Clearly, whatever they do, you ride or die. When you ride specifically for that team, you can take or leave people. It's all about the team. It's not about one specific athlete. So let's just remember that as I talk about this, because Chris and I have had this conversation over and over again. I text messaged him yesterday. He didn't respond to me when I was upset because the Saints was losing. He didn't respond to me. I'm guessing because he's told me this is who Drew Brees is. Ever since he turned 40, this is who Drew Brees is. He's not good from at the beginning right away. But he was actually pretty good last night when you look at the numbers. But I just had to break this down because in 2018, Drew Brees was 39, right? So we lost our first game to Tampa Bay, won the next 10, and then lost to Dallas. Drew also missed one game that season, but his personal record was 13-2. He had 32 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and almost 4,000 passing yards. But Chris said 40. He didn't say 39. He said 40, which would be last season. But we can't really count last season because he was injured, and Teddy Bridgewater carried the majority of that season. Well, not the majority, but he only played 11 games, and he was still 8 for 3. And, of course, he started 1-1 before he got injured. But he won his first game back, which we were all surprised about that. He lost the second game. But, again, he'd been out for 6 weeks. And I just don't know if I'm co-signing on this after I looked at the numbers, because he still was 8-3, 27 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and passed for almost 3,000 yards. So the last time he had a really bad season or a really rough start was when he was 38. He lost to the Vikings week 1 and the Patriots week 2. But after that, he won 8 in a row, and then we were 11-5. So, like I said, he was decent last night. He was 29 for 36, threw for 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and 288 yards. Taysom Hill's fumble in the fourth quarter did not help, but we also did not come back and score. So I think I literally had to go back and rewatch last night's game, because I was like, all right, if you just look at the numbers, Drew looks great, right? So there are some things that I have to go back and say maybe Chris is right, because his longest pass last night was to Emmanuel Sanders, who, by the way, I feel is underutilized, but that was 18 yards. It was just over 18 yards. And so then you have to wonder, is Drew's long arm fading? Because 2 years ago, 83% of his passes were like deep balls. Now we're kind of low in that aspect. And then the pass that he sent to Emmanuel Sanders wasn't even a good pass. Emmanuel Sanders had to put some work in that. And then third down conversions are weird now. He was throwing within 0.2 yards of the first down marker 2 years ago. So when he was 38, 39, he was throwing at 0.2 yards at the first down marker on third down conversions. Now he's throwing it almost 1.5 yards away from the first down marker. So it's like, can he get it there when it's third and long? And now if it's a yard and a half away, that's extra work for your receivers, who defenders are knowing you're trying to get to this first down marker. So what we're not going to do right away is pin this on Drew Brees. But my question, of course, is for my fellow Saints fan, because the next 5 weeks should be extremely easy, right? We have the Lions, Chargers, Panthers, Bears, and the Bucks, right? So if we see another situation where Drew is not able to convert in pressure situations, because the truth is, after Taysom's fumble, we still had time to go back and score, and we didn't. So if he doesn't score in those type of situations, if we continue to see that he's not getting the ball downfield deep often, do we just chalk that up and say, hey, let's wait for Michael Thomas to come back in week 6 or 7? Or is that too late? Do we consider Jameis? What's the plan here?
The plan is to listen to your good friend CK, Chris, to tell you, when I tell you, don't worry about these first 3 weeks. Don't worry about these first 3 weeks, because with everything you said, which I've been trying to tell you, yesterday's game, whether it was a loss and because we had that moment where, we could have came back, but he didn't, there was the biggest bright side of them all. Drew Brees went back to being what Drew Brees is. Yes, it wasn't, long throw Drew Brees, but it was 80% completion Drew Brees. First game, he completed 6% of his passes. Not Drew Brees.
Right.
Next game, went up a little bit, 68% of his passes. Okay, kind of Drew Brees, but he threw that interception. Don't think we forgot about that. But yesterday, 288 yards, and he had 80% completions from the field. So we're seeing this. Drew Brees never has preseason. This is why I have this rule. He doesn't play in the preseason, especially this year since everything's weird. So nobody played in the preseason, but he's still old. Right. So I'm telling you, after this week, we're going to start seeing them. We're going to start seeing the throws go from, that 18, get back to the 20. Maybe we might see a 25 one game. I'm not worried about it. I don't think this is troubling at all. This is just to be expected. He's got to let the arm warm up. As you know, it's slowly getting there. 288 yards. Drew Brees did play well yesterday. I was just a little upset that, the close wasn't the way that it normally is with Drew Brees. And also, the beginning wasn't how it is with Drew Brees. Drew Brees, whenever we start the game, Sean Payton loves starting the game with the ball because he knows that it's always a guaranteed 7 points. That didn't happen yesterday. So I'm saying, just give it some time. Let the rust come off a little bit. No training camp. I'm not worried about it. So, no, I'm not going to jump into the whole Jameis stuff yet, even though, I still would like to see Jameis play some football this year. Still, I'm trying to, forgive Drew Brees for what we talked about a few months ago. But, I think outside of that, for football only and winning only, I'm not worried about it at all. I don't think we need to wait for Michael Thomas. Drew Brees is always one that uses all of his targets. Nothing new there, which is why Emmanuel Sanders, I don't feel bad for him either, because that's just how it is. He should have known coming to the Saints, there's going to be a game where you're going to have your Emmanuel Sanders game. There's going to be other games where you're going to get 1 to 2 receptions. That's just how Drew Brees works. He uses every single one of his receivers, sometimes alignment. That's just how he works.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I'm glad one of us is not worried, because I don't like starting these uphill battles, because by the time Michael Thomas comes back, if we don't really capitalize on these next 5 games, it's going to be a situation. Mm-hmm. So that's just
But
me.
if we didn't have a guy named Alvin Kamara, I would agree. But Alvin Kamara did just fine doing a lot of what Michael Thomas did yesterday. So I think we'll be all right.
Yeah. All right, so now let's move on to college football. This one's going to be fun. The LSU game was a complete upset. I don't know if you guys saw it this weekend, but it actually was a lot of fun just because of this kid, KJ Costello. Now, I watch college football. I don't watch a ton of college football, but I have to be honest, I had never heard of this kid before, probably because he went to Stanford, and I do everything within my power to avoid all things Stanford when it comes to sports because I hate that school. But nonetheless, he transferred to Mississippi State. He played 25 games in Stanford, and the most he ever passed for in the 25 games he was there was 381 yards. And this weekend, he passed for 623 yards, which means, of course, now all eyes are on this kid because he broke Dak Prescott's single-game passing yard record for Mississippi State, which he made that in 2015 of 508 yards against Arkansas. I'm excited for this kid. I would love to be able to sit here and go on and on and on about this kid, but I can't. And this one is for you guys who say you should keep politics out of sports. 2 things. Number 1, justice is not politics. It should just be a given, not the same thing. Number 2, if you want to know what politics in sports looks like, this is what we got. Because we have Jeff Landry, who is a Louisiana attorney general who thinks lack of fans in the stands is why the Tiger lost. And he blames the governor, Governor John Bel Edwards. He tweeted this that said, "Hey, at Louisiana governor, this is what happens when you don't fill LSU stadium." I would go on this guy because what? But there were fans in the stands. It just obviously wasn't packed. And we know college stadiums, specifically LSU, they are crazy fans. They definitely could have been that X factor, maybe, but still, the game was kind of crazy. So let me get to this guy who tweeted back at him because this is the perfect response. I couldn't even say it any better. He says, "What the bleep are you smoking? What's more important, safety of fans or winning a football game?" He's probably one of the people who believe football is life and essential. With numbers increasing upward, crowds really need to be cut even more, high school and college. So there you have it. He's probably, like he said, he's one of these people who doesn't think the virus is real, or he thinks that sports athletes who don't get paid are essential workers, whatever. But LSU did lose that game by 10 points. They were only down by 3 at the half, but they lost 44-34. But I don't have any specific questions on this except for to say what we not going to do is blame it on fans in the stands. Because if that's the case, my Saints play in the Superdome. I don't know if you know how loud that is, but we didn't have no fans there. So if y'all can use that excuse, so can we, but we not. So that's all I got to say about that. Because now it is time for Brit's Takes.
Brit's Takes.
All right, guys, this is going to piggyback off Jackie's concerns, off what Chris said we shouldn't be concerned about, and it is what NFL teams, if any, should be worried now that Week 3 is complete in the NFL season. We know Jackie talked a little bit more about Drew Brees, but a little bit about, are we concerned with the Saints then? Because he's the leader of the Saints. Should we replace him with Jameis Winston? Well, there have been tons of teams who have actually called for, not the particular teams, but fans and whatnot have called for people to be fired, have called for replacements, Mitch Trubisky, but it's been going crazy. But you guys, we have to remember, this season is unprecedented for the NFL. We had no preseason. We are in the middle of a global pandemic, in case a lot of you guys forgot. And we have seen more injuries from starters than personally I think I've seen in my career as watching football. I feel like we've seen so many starters get dropped down. Last week, Devin kind of ran through a list of a bunch of them, and that wasn't even the half of it. But I want to remind you guys, we are still not even finished with what I call the first quarter of the season. So it is still first quarter of the season, you guys. We have tons and tons of football left to be played. And I kind of want to go back to where we stand now and then compare it to last season, which was actually a normal season. So obviously, if we look at the AFC, their conference is very interesting because all the leaders for all the divisions are all actually undefeated teams. We have Buffalo Bills with the East, Titans South, Steelers with the North, and obviously they are currently with the Ravens, who actually played tonight. So we'll see who's going to become undefeated in that situation because they're playing the Chiefs, which are in the West, and they play tonight against each other. If you guys don't have your schedule unblocked for this game, you should do so because this is going to be a great game. It's the two reigning MVPs from last season, Super Bowl and in NFL regular season. So obviously this game is going to be monstrous. Both of these teams are currently 2-0. So I think it's just going to be a really good game. Lamar Jackson versus Patrick Mahomes. Make sure you guys check out that game tonight. But as of now, everybody who is in their or who leads their division in the AFC is actually undefeated. Then we head over to the NFC, and particularly the NFC East, my division as a Dallas Cowboys fan. And people might wonder, like, oh, wow, you Cowboys suck so much right now. You guys are 1-2. But guess what? We're tied for first place in our division right now with the Washington football team. And then we head over to Tampa, who isn't undefeated, but they lead the South with a 2-1 record. And then we do have two undefeated teams that lead their division in the NFC, and that's the Packers in the North and then the Seahawks in the West, which I think the NFC West is hands down right now the best division. They're going to be the one to beat because they're Seahawks lead with undefeated, but everybody else, the Cards, the 49ers, and the Rams, all in the West, all have records of 2-1. So everybody in that division actually has a winning record right now, and they're playing great. But I want to remind you guys that being great early on in the season doesn't really matter too much. I actually pulled the power rankings from last season this time. So going into the season, the number one team was the Patriots, who we all know lost very early in the playoffs last year. Chiefs obviously were 2. They ended up going on to win the Super Bowl. Rams were at 3. Cowboys were at 4. My Dallas Cowboys, who ended up not making it to the playoffs. Yeah, we were 4 in the power rankings during week 4 of last year, and then are going into week 4. Packers were 5. Titans, who actually played in the AFC Championship game this last season, you guys, were ranked 22 in the power rankings going into week 4. Guess who was better than them? The Atlanta Falcons and the Cleveland Browns. Purgatory was better than the AFC Championship playing Tennessee Titans. So this season is still super early. So many teams can change it around. Well, you know, the Titans actually didn't become really good until, I would say, December, late November, early December is when I was like looking at, you guys, the Titans are the hottest team in the league right now. And they started checking people off, starting with the Patriots on down, making it all the way to the AFC Championship game. So I think it is too early, especially including this pandemic, including this no preseason, to determine what any team is going to end up being. Jackie, don't worry about your Saints just yet. I think they're going to be okay. I think obviously everybody, all the teams right now are kind of trying to scramble. They're all being put into survival mode, which means good for everybody. It's actually a level playing field right now. There's such few teams that are undefeated going into this than even last year. I think last year around this time there were still 10 teams that were undefeated going into this week. So it is it's like crazy how different it is from last year. There's so many injuries early on in this season, and really everybody's kind of been put into survival mode. Even, I mean, the 49ers, who are still 2-1 in their division, like are 2-1 in their record right now. They've had tons of injuries. So many teams have had so many injuries, and it's really just going to be how these teams can transition, and even some teams that are going to get players back. You guys are going to get Michael Thomas back. Some teams, like the Giants, are not going to get Saquon Barkley back this season. So I think all of those things are going to play into account. And really, I think it's pretty level of a playing field right now because we've had so many injuries to so many big players and so many teams. So do not worry about what's happening right now. I think there is so much football left to be played. Everybody can relax a little bit and just remember where we are. This is technically the end of preseason. So let's pretend like this was the last preseason game we saw, and then everything moving forward will be a different ball game. Moving into week 4, we are going to see way less injuries happen, I believe. I think we're going to see a lot more competitive play than we've seen in these past weeks. Obviously, everybody's kind of been playing at a low level, so the scoreboards have been close. But to what we know of football to look like, it hasn't looked like that, obviously. There's been so many quarterbacks that have not thrown to their capabilities. There's running backs that haven't ran to their normal standards. So defenses haven't played up to par. So I think we're going to see a whole new change starting this week 4 of football. And then from now moving on, I think is going to be the time that we can really start placing teams into their respective power rankings and where we think they're going to be going into the rest of the season. So yes, stop sweating, everybody. We'll be good after this week. And we are going to enjoy football together and see my Dallas Cowboys win the Super Bowl. I just had to throw that in there.
Oh, what? What happened? You were doing so good. You were doing so good. Oh, my God. I was like, yeah, Britt. Yeah, Britt.
We need to see. Okay, you guys. So I need to break up the laughter and the enjoyment, but I have no idea when you're hearing me or not. So I'm just going to close out the show right now. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, everybody. Tap the bell for notifications. Give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment below. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. And we will see you guys later.
Cowboys! Woo!
Oh, God. We can't even, just let her have it.